Number 7. The narrow one. This is a great example of resourcefulness. This 1 meter wide by 10 meter tall house belongs to Helenita Minho. She designed the house herself without any architectural help. At first, the municipality refused, but in the end, they allowed the construction. Today, the house has become a tourist spot in a small town in Brazil. Number 6. The repurposed airline. Long-haul flights are exhausting for some, and some can't just get enough of it. Bruce Campbell purchased an old Boeing 727 for a bargain price of $100,000. He ended up spending almost another $100,000 on transporting the aircraft to his property and redoing the interiors. Number 5. The transparent house. Designed by Sou Fujimoto architects, this house is one open environment with different living spaces situated on different platforms, and all the walls are made of glass. On the upside there is ton of natural sunlight, but on the flip side your shame will be clearly visible to anyone passing by. Number 4. The abandoned Star Wars set. The remnants of a set from the Phantom Menace are just hanging around in the Tunisian desert. But the locals haven't let it go to waste. There are a bunch of people now living in the set. Occasionally, tourists visit the set, where they are often disheartened to find that the village is populated not by aliens but by regular people who sometimes behave like aliens to scare the tourists. Number 3. The house in a cemetery. And we don't mean it's next door to a cemetery or there is a cemetery in the yard. We mean the place where a couple and their kids sleep now in what used to be a mortuary and graveyard keeper's lodge. So first, the family fixed up an old mortuary, where the corpses were laid out, into a dining room, and made the Victorian era toilets into the kitchen. The family spent over £100,000 on the property to make it a home. Number 2. The house made of old newspaper. When your day job is to design machines that make paper clips, you might be tempted to build an entire house with nothing but paper. In 1922, engineers 10 men built an entire house including tables, chairs, curtains, mantle, and even a piano out of used newspaper, pressed together with a homemade glue to make 1-inch thick panels that made up the walls. A lot of it is just as readable today as it was almost a century ago. Number 1. The house in an abandoned missile silo. This house reminds one of the wonderful Cold War era. A couple made home in a former nuclear missile silo called Subterra Castle. It once housed an intercontinental missile complete with a 4 megaton warhead that had Stalin's name on it. Now people sleep and poop in it. This very residence now symbolizes a bright future where we can hopefully trade world-destroying arsenals for peace and friendship.